Hey everybody, WILDMAN here. And nope, psych, that is not WILDMAN. That's my buddy Frank the Carnivore. He was doing the conjugate program and we were going to film some segments, so I decided to hop in and work out with him. And I'll be taking this workout very seriously, as you can see. And that's because mainly I don't have anything to do today. I have to start all over again and kind of work my way back up. So I don't need to really worry about the weight today. So he was doing the axle deadlift. So that's what I'm going to do along with him. And I'm mainly going to be doing single format all the way up. So I want to see how much reps I could do. And I was only going to stop at 400 pounds today. I didn't want to go further than that. And then for the giant set format, I'm going to be doing some bar facing burpees because this is a great way to get some extra conditioning in, to work my explosiveness, and to warm up the muscles as I'm going up in weight on the deadlift. And I'll be doing the assault bike as well, because this is a low impact implement that I can do, but it also gets my heart rate up very fast. And if you've never used an assault bike, check it out because it will gas you out quick. Now Frank, he's working towards a different goal. He's doing conjugate and he's doing a variation version of the deadlift, and he's only going to be doing one rep as he moves up in weight and slowly lowering it back down. Whereas I'm going to be doing this format where I'm going to be doing more reps, but I'm going to completely let it go at the bottom so I lose my brace and that stretch reflex, and then do the deadlift in that variation. I call that the single format deadlift. So Frank is trying to go for a 1 rep max today with the axle, and we really didn't know what that number was going to be, but I was really excited to see where he was going to end up. And for the record, I am doing those bar facing burpees and the assault bike between every weight that I go up, but I didn't want to film it because I didn't want to clutter it with all of that, because it looks like the same thing every single time. So I really wanted to capture us going up in weights. But Frank is not doing the bar facing burpee or the assault bike. His only focus is to just go up nice and smooth every single jump and making sure that he's ready to lift a 1 rep max. And since I'm starting over, and the reason why I'm starting over is because I've been lifting heavy for a very long time. And I was on a cycle where I got to pretty much lifting a 1 rep max with different variation lifts, kind of like conjugate. And my body was definitely taking a beating. So I knew that it's time for me to kind of start over. Instead of doing like a deload, I just like to do different things and try to mess around. So I'm doing the singles deadlift format and with the axle bar, because that axle bar is very hard to pull from the ground due to its thickness, and it doesn't bend, it doesn't have any knurling. So it makes it a lot harder to get off the ground. So since I'm doing it in the single deadlift format, I'm practicing getting it off the ground every single rep. So that's why I'm trying to do that today, because I was supposed to do a barbell lift today, and I just decided, since Frank was in here and he was using the axle bar and he was doing something already, I would just bro down with him and jump on and just do what he was doing. So this is the set before my top set, and I was very happy how this was moving, because I've been dead, as I've said, for a while, and being able to just kind of dial it back and really focus on technique, knowing that I can lift it and just doing more reps made me feel a lot better. Typically around that 350 mark, I only do it for 1 rep when I'm going up in weight. So it's kind of nice to be doing 3 reps all the way up in single format, which I've never done before. And just a reminder that I was doing bar facing burpees and assault bike the whole way up as we were going up, except for Frank. And now Frank's getting up to his top set. So this is the most he's ever going to be able to lift, I believe, with both a barbell and with an axle. So this is something that was going to be spectacular to witness. And he's using those standard straps where he has to time around the bar. But he ends up doing a very good job. He had to grind it out, but that was a straight hitch all the way up. So I was very happy with that. He was very happy with that. And I was glad to witness his PR and to kind of see that as he's doing the conjugate method that I wrote for him, that he is able to do it. And this is my top set. This is going to be 400 pounds total, right? Because you have to deduct the axle bar if you want to start doing the gym math with it. And I was actually struggling with my left strap. So right about this 3rd rep right here, even though these are all moving very good and very fast, that left strap started to kind of slip off and that bar started to like wobble out of my hand. So I tried to fix it from the bottom, and then this rep I was trying to make sure I was going to get it clean and it wasn't going to wobble. But even though it went up, I could feel it starting to slide out of my hands. So rather than resetting completely and starting over again just to get that 5th rep, I just ended it there and moved on to the variation giant set, which for Frank he is doing volume. So we took 80% of his 1 rep max, and now he's going to do 3 sets of 5. And I think it came out to 295 pounds, but I was like, just do 300. It's only 5 pounds more, which I think kind of broke Frank. Frank was really struggling with this weight, which kind of shows that I kind of mapped it out perfectly. But for me, I'm doing a variation lift. So I was doing all those single formats, practicing power from the bottom. Now I'm going to do a Romanian deadlift, where I deadlift it up to my hips with the same weight that Frank was using, but then I just lower it just below my knees and an inch away from the floor, and then work that top tension. And I kept it within the same giant set format of doing those bar facing burpees, because I felt like I just wanted to keep it in the same flow and not mix it with anything else and end on a nice even number. And bar facing burpees are one of my favorite things to do on deadlift day. And I continue to do that assault bike as well for the variation giant set. So we did 3 rounds of that, and then once we were done, I wanted to do Zercher carries, and I just said to Frank, forget your conjugate program and just follow me. Let's just do kind of a Conan wheel Zercher carry where we walk around that box there and then walk it to another divider. And that guy needs to freaking move. Like, he wasn't taking a hit. Like, we're trying to do some serious strongman movement, and he's over there worried about his obliques with a very light band, I must say. And don't worry, that's one of my buddies. But he really needs to read the room and see what we're doing here. But don't worry, we end up recruiting his help later. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, because that axle bar is less aggressive than a barbell. But because it's so thick, it actually tries to roll out of your hands a lot easier than a barbell, because you get the barbell in the crook of your elbow. But again, the knurling can be aggressive. So since the axle bar doesn't have knurling, it's less aggressive on your arms, but that wider diameter makes it want to fall out of your hands a little bit easier. So this is our top set for both of us. And I was super surprised. Frank has a really strong Zercher carry. Like, he's just naturally good at it. And those J hooks, man, those things were pissing me off, because every time I tried to pull out of it, it would catch it and then like bring me back. But I was able to carry it, and I was very proud of this lift. Frank saw me kind of struggle on that a lot, and so he was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do it. But look at this guy. He actually moved a lot better and a lot more controlled than I did. So I was actually very surprised, because I didn't think I could go any higher, right? I thought 300 was my top set for the day. So we decided to load Frank up with 330 pounds on the bar, and we made sure he got out of those J hooks safely. And this guy just carries it so good. He did say that it hurt and that the world was starting to shrink around him as he got closer to the other rack, but he moved very good and very efficiently, and I was very surprised that he was able to do it. So kudos to him, dude. Well, that's where we end for today's workout, and I hope you enjoyed everything that you saw. I'll see you next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.